Hey guys, Nito here. Sorry about Monday's lack of videos. Some stuff came up, and well, I'll be working some overtime. So today I'm definitely pushing out a number of videos. I also want to say that tonight at 10 p.m. on my Twitch channel, and hopefully it will be uploaded to YouTube, but there will be a mock draft between me and the writers of Zone Reads. So, I've been partaking in that, and hopefully that'll be, fun to watch and, interesting because everyone's got their own opinions and stuff, and they don't always seem to agree. But that'll be tonight at 10 o'clock Eastern. So I'll throw my Twitch channel in the chat or in the comments, and hopefully you guys come check it out. And if you can't see it live, I'll hopefully be able to post it up on YouTube. So that'll be a fun exercise. Today we're doing Calvin Pryor to start off the day. Hopefully I have Morgan Moses a little bit later. But two games we're watching with Calvin Pryor is versus Miami and versus Rutgers. And let's just kind of get into it. So Calvin Pryor, 5'11", 207, plays free safety position. I think he's definitely a safety. Sometimes these safety position guys get, well, is he a corner? Is he going to be strong? I think he's your safety, center field type guys with the wants. But we'll look at that while we're watching this tape. He ran 4.58. That's okay speed, good speed. 18 on the bench, no concerns. Okay, no concerns. We're fine. So, and first game we're watching is against Miami. Here we go. First play. We're going to move up to 13 seconds. We'll just watch this first one. He plays all over field, Pryor does. He's kind of a wild card. And you see right here, it's kind of like pushed towards the slot receiver. And this is kind of stiff here. He has the flat route, and he never really engages on it until the last minute, which concerns me. Yes, he has a guy run at him. We shouldn't be worried about that guy at all. He has the flat. He just has outs to the numbers to the outside. That's what he has. That's his coverage. And once that player enters that zone, you need to be aggressive, because you have guys behind you. That's part of the zone, is you're allowed to be over aggressive in certain spots. And this just concerned a little bit with that play. I shouldn't be an easy first down pass. Now the guy doesn't catch it or steps out of bounds, so gets bailed out there. But little concern there. And that's you see that a lot with his coverage. Actually, it's not the tightest man coverage. So as a safety, I kind of want my guy to be real reliable in coverage, and I sometimes have that concern. Here's another one where he misses the jam at the line of scrimmage. Now, how often is he going to be jamming at the line of scrimmage? Probably not that often, but the fact that the one time I see him go for it, the guy gets right by him, doesn't take him off his route at all. He does get his hand. Maybe the concerning thing is he gets his hands on him, and actually doesn't do anything. He just kind of pushes him to a path, but the guy wants to go that way, so he's running a fade route potentially. If the screen gets blocked up, and Stephen Morris, the Miami quarterback, I forget Miami quarterback's name. Yeah, Stephen Morris. He maybe pump fakes to the screen and throws the bomb down the sideline. And all you do is just kind of patty cake into the sideline. Well, didn't do your job. So, again, small concerns. It's stuff that you're not going to see that much. Is safety playing up on a line of scrimmage against the slot receiver. Safety playing up on a line of scrimmage jamming a wide receiver. So, hopefully that's not something that you're going to see a lot out of him. But here he is now playing kind of like a 9 technique on the outside. And this is what I love about him, is how reckless, don't give a damn, just run at the quarterback, I'm going to get to him no matter what. and he causes a pass disruption here. So, I love having that type of player in my safety spot, that if I do want to run some pressure stuff, he's there, he can do it. I love seeing that out of a guy. And we're going to push over to the Rutgers game. Oops, there we go. And go up to 56 seconds. This game is interesting to watch. I actually had a lot of fun watching him in this game. See him again playing that like 9-position technique and coming in, and I love this. I just, I want to see this out of linebackers. I want to see this out of defensive tackles. I don't want to see this. I mean, I do want to see this, but I don't expect to see this out of safeties. He reads the play correctly. Now, he has contained, but, he's a safety. I'm not going to kill him for not keeping contained. He has a fullback coming at him. What is he? He knows what's happening here. He sees the pulling guy. Let's see if we can actually see his eyes here. If he notices the guy pulling. Yeah, he definitely sees the guy pulling. So he sees a pulling player and a fullback cleaning. So fullback's going to try and kick out here, and he's going to come up and seal a linebacker, and it's going to be one-on-one with the corner. That's the plan, offensively. Pryor does not want to let that happen. So what does he do? Creates a pile right there. You can't. There's nowhere to go. The pulling lineman has nowhere to go. The running back has nowhere to go. That's a terrific play. I want to see defensive linemen doing that. The fact that safety's doing it, man, that just excites me just watching that. So I love seeing how physical and aggressive he is. I think that offsets a lot of the problems you see him in his pass protection, or his pass stuff. So, it's definitely exciting to see a safety play like this. I coached this running back in high school for Rutgers. Here comes him again. I like where he's playing now outside. It kind of looks like he's got potentially man-to-man coverage here, though Louisville plays very little man-to-man. And I like his reaction. Gets underneath, gets inside, and maybe doesn't make the tackle on a one, but definitely gets into a spot where he slows the running back down and does a great job of holding him up. Okay, now we actually have a cam that we can actually see our safety playing. I hate broadcast view for safeties. We're limited very much. So, I watched a lot of the tape, and so much of it is unusable, even though they're good plays, because you can't get a good feel of what's going on. I like when they have the opportunity to see him kind of, I just don't like how reactive he is. I like to see a safety that understands the routes that are coming at him, that knows that, okay, this is a post corner, this is a corner post, this is just a post route. I want to know safeties that know what's going on. There's a lot of Seattle fans here, and you watch Earl Thomas. Earl Thomas, knows what the routes are going to be before the play may even be starting. So he's able to jump routes because he knows that the route tree of the team they're playing. Now, a college kid, 20 hours a week of work, not getting maybe the whole film work that an NFL player is getting, but I like to see a safety be proactive, getting underneath the routes and, getting hip to hip on a guy coming at him rather than sitting back and reacting to what the wide receiver is doing. And this is a very reactive play. So, is it, again, a huge problem? No, because that's just the way he's playing. It's a zone defense. It's kind of passive in its nature. But man, I just think he's a little flat-footed. And the other thing is, at the very end of the play, he kind of goes for a headshot here. Now, that's just kind of who he is. When you watch him play, he's extremely physical. He wants to hit people. But remember, that's a 15 yards in the NFL almost every single time because how quickly they throw that flag. Maybe you have to slow him down just a touch. Jump ahead a little bit. We see him drop into almost a third of the field, it looks like, but, over top someone. Like I said, they don't play a lot of man. So, are they in man here? And no, they're not. If you notice, we have zone underneath. They really try and disguise their coverages, and because of what they did, they left the middle of the field wide open on their coverage ability. Now, this might have been a fake field goal, if I'm remembering correctly. I think this was a fake field goal that they went up in, like, this is like the or the holder, so maybe the defense isn't as set as it typically would. But I do like that what he does here is he's not anywhere near the play. You see his athleticism kick in, and he's able to stop a touchdown by getting from his side of the field to the middle of the side of the field. Now, was he supposed to be covering that? It's possible, but I don't think so. Again, special teams is on the field, and maybe things got a little shaky there. I don't know, but he is pushed to one side of that play, comes over, it makes play in the middle of the field. That's a plus for me. I like that part. If you notice, there's a lot to like with Pryor. There's some negatives, and when I'm taking a guy in the first round, some of that stuff concerns me that I'm seeing some blatant negatives. But this is a good reactionary play. And, the one thing I think Pryor does better than probably most safeties and corners I've watched this year is he reads the quarterback extremely well. So, though he plays reactively, he's able to react very well to the quarterbacks. It's not like he's a step slow at times. So, he reads quarterback's eyes very well. I'm not crazy about a guy that reads quarterback's eyes. I prefer the Earl Thomas version that's reactive to, or proactive to the routes that are coming at him rather than reactive to the quarterback's eyes. But, you take what you get. And very few safeties are going to be at that level of Earl Thomas and like an Eric Weddle, those type of guys, T.J. Ward, these guys that are know the routes that are coming at them and play them very, very well. So that was Calvin Pryor. Just a couple things I want to finish out with him is he's extremely strong run stopper. Very strong at it. I love his physical nature. He gets up in the box. He doesn't care where he's out in the field. He wants to hit somebody. I love it. And that's great to see out of safety. I have personal questions about his man coverage abilities. Just because we didn't see him. And does that mean he can't do it? I don't know. Louisville played so much zone. But I want my free to be able to, for us to go, I want to be able to run some nickel packages where I'm blitzing linebackers and my free is man-to-man against somebody. Just that way there's some balance to our defense that we're not always sitting back with our free at playing center field. I want teams to have to respect that we can send pressure whenever we want. So, I don't think that's going to be that much of an issue. He seems athletic enough and he reacts well. I love to see some hip-to-hip stuff with him, but, unfortunately, Louisville just didn't run that defense for us to see that. Another thing that we didn't see on tape was he kind of gets caught looking in the backfield a little bit when he's sitting in zone coverage. And, that happens a lot because zone coverage guys are looking at the quarterback's eyes, but they should be looking at the running back. And I think he kind of once or twice takes one step up on a play action and then, has to backpedal from there. He doesn't overcommit. He just kind of gives you that one step and goes, oh. But in the NFL, that one step we have seen that lets Andre Johnson or Calvin Johnson get behind the safety, and next thing you know, they're running 75 yards down the sideline for a touchdown. So, that's a little bit of the concern there. He plays a little bit what I like to call the John Rambo style. He gives up a little of his technique for it because of how aggressive he is. He might not be sitting hip to hip with a guy because he wants to hit him. Now that's who he is, and that's what you're going to get, and you're not going to change that, nor would I want to change that, because that's the type of player he is. I want him to hit. I want there to be fear for players going over the middle of the field. That's why you have a safety like that. Whether it's the Ed Reed style, where they're going to intercept the pass, or the Calvin Pryor here, where he's going to hit the guy, and the wide receiver's not going to willingly go to the middle. So, I think he has some real high-level moments where he's reacting to the quarterback. We saw that in that last play with the interception. And I think the opposite is true. He has low-level moments when he's reacting to the wide receiver route. So maybe it's just film work. Maybe get in a film room and that stuff just improves dramatically. Because again, college only have 20 hours a week. NFL, it's however many hours in a week there are that you can watch film and study. So I think that difference can actually help him. Defensive players kind of sometimes get the back end of time on the football field because coaches spend so much of their time on the offense in college level. I've seen it, and this is at Division II, Division I, Division I AA. It's just what coaches do. They spend so much time on offensive. They'll put 13 hours the head coach into the offensive and 7 hours into the defensive, and it shows at times. So a player like him might very much benefit from having those extra hours in the NFL level with the film and whatnot, that he can actually maybe become more comfortable with the wide receiver routes, become more proactive in it. So overall, I like him a lot. I don't think I like him in the middle first, where I'm seeing like the Jets, I think, are rumored to really want him. I just think that like Jason Verrett, if he's out there, I think like that's the type of player. If I'm looking for a defensive backfield help, I know they don't play the same position, but they're both DBs. I think that's kind of where I'd lean in that spot. I'd lean Pryor towards like later in the first round. Maybe the Cleveland Browns' second pick, that area. I know they just lost TJ Ward. They could use their safety there. If you're going by need drafting. If you watch tonight, you'll know that I'm not a needs drafter. Excuse me, I'm a best available drafter. I don't care about what your team needs are, because you don't know what your team's going to need in May, what they're going to need in September or December. And I love that stuff. Oh, they need... No, they don't. You don't know what they need. I don't know what they have in the practice squad or what undrafted free agent they're going to sign that's going to fill a hole. It's May. We don't know what a team needs right now. The only thing that I think you can say you don't need is if you have Aaron Rodgers or Andrew Luck. That type of quarterback. But alright, digressing. So, alright, hope you enjoyed Calvin Pryor. I'm going to do Morgan Moses immediately after this, and hopefully have both of these videos up on YouTube shortly. For those that are watching on YouTube, thank you. And again, 10 o'clock tonight for the mock draft. Oh boy. Okay, guys. I'll see you Morgan Moses shortly.